It's been said that big doors swing on little hinges, and I'm going to explain two hinges that swing the doors of opportunity wide open. My name's Brad Costanzo. I've been an entrepreneur for a decade and a half, and I have consulted with some of the top businesses, thought leaders, celebrities, billionaires, and even small business owners on some of the topics that I cover today. More than anything, what I found that drives the success of both my clients, my partners, and looking back, even mine, is understanding a critical concept of access and influence. Access and influence are the two hinges that I've found swing the door of opportunity wide open when you really understand what they are, the distinctions, and how to use them in your own life or in your own business. So first, let's talk about access. So access is easy to think it just means who you know. But in reality, if you look at it, we first examine the distinction between access and ownership, because you don't necessarily have to own something if you can access it. Think about it in terms of Uber or Lyft. You don't have to own a car if you can pull out your cell phone and access one, right? Well, the same is true in this day and age. If you want to start a business, you don't have to have the millions of dollars it takes to start or to buy a business if you can access it through a loan. And I'll circle back to this in 1 second. If you can combine these two understandings, that I need access to resources, but I don't need to own them, it starts to make you realize that so much more is possible for you. And I'll get really tactical and explain how this works in terms of business if you're an entrepreneur or business owner in just a moment. Next, let me explain influence. So influence is very easy to understand on the surface, but there's different types of influence. There is natural influence that you might have over your children, but then there is manufactured influence that you might have over a subordinate at a business. So if you are the boss and you have other people, you've manufactured this role to where you can influence them to do what you want them to do simply because of the authority you have. And now there's another type of influence, which is individual influence. Maybe I can influence you because you're my friend and you like me or you owe me something, but there's mass influence. I have a business podcast called Bacon Wrapped Business. Feel free to subscribe on iTunes or Android if you haven't yet. But with this, I have influence over the people who listen to me. I can cause them sometimes to go buy a product if somebody appears on my show, and I can influence them that this is something I use as well. So there's platform-based mass influence. There's individual influence. There is manufactured and natural. And not to get too academic, but I think it's really important if you understand that if getting access to resources you need without necessarily needing to own them is half the equation, and then influencing others to act on that is the other piece. When you realize how to wield these two, you can swing open enormous doors. For instance, I may want to buy a business, which I've done in the past, and I think is a great business model. In fact, I like it more than building one from scratch. But I may need to buy a business, and I might not have all of the money necessary to buy it. So how do I access that money? Well, number one, I could go to a bank and get a loan, right? Or another investor. The next question is, well, how do I influence them to give me the loan? Well, there's a multitude of ways to do that. Some of it's based on my experience, on the business plan. Is there collateral? How do I help reduce the risk? But I have to take both things into account. On the other side, if I'm buying a business, I might be able to influence the owner of the business to owner finance it. And maybe I don't have to go get a loan from the bank or another investor, but I can get them to just say, yeah, you can owe me whatever it is every month, just pay me over the course. And if it doesn't work out, they take the money back. Arguably, there could be more risk in it for the business owner, but how do I influence them that this might be a good idea? Well, one of those ways may be to let them participate in the upside. If I buy the business and grow it, they see that there's a big opportunity there, and that might influence them to give me more favorable terms. And this is just one little example of how to use access and influence. Another way to think about this is a simple concept that I use whenever I'm trying to overcome a problem or create a strategy to solve a business problem or goal, which is who else has what I need and who else needs what I have. And those two questions are also very nuanced, but you think about, well, who else has what I need? list out, what do I need? Do I need customers? Do I need distribution? Do I need both? Do I need sales copy? Do I need a customer service team, a sales team? What do I need? List them all out. And now over here, list out what do I have? Because who else needs what I have? And what you have may really surprise you. Your relationships are what you have, your knowledge, your specific or general knowledge, any money you have, any access and influence with other people could be something else you have that somebody else could use. So I create these two lists. Who else has what I need and who else needs what I have? And now the next question is what if? And we say, what if we can combine these two things or three things together and create something really synergistic and really powerful with leverage? Well, the third question there is just why not? Is there any reason that this wouldn't work? Is it too competitive? Is it going to draw resources from somewhere else? Now these two concepts of access and influence and who else has what I need and who else needs what I have play hand in hand. And I encourage you to play with this in your business, in your life, and think about those things. What do I need to have, or what do I need to get access to? That is a mind-opening exercise that you can do, and you'll probably be surprised by the ideas that you come up with to get access to the things you need and by providing access to the things you have. This is the foundation of the way that I work with clients and business partners, from companies I acquire to people I partner with and people that I serve. This is one of the very first foundational questions we do when we're working together. And if it helps you, fantastic. If you'd like to get a second opinion on how it might help you more specifically and strategically, get a hold of me. I'll probably put the information here somewhere on this video, and I'm happy to see if there's a way we could work together. Thanks again. And just remember, access and influence are the two hinges that swing the door of opportunity. Go open it. Thanks.